Curious George, the curious little monkey. Oh, what fun to run and jump and play. Curious George, the curious little monkey. Let's go see what he's doing today.
Curious George at the photographer's studio. Look at that snow, George, said the man with the yellow hat. Brr, it sure is cold outside today, but I have to go out just the same. I'll see you later. Remember, don't get into trouble. George was alone. What should he do now? Why not go over to see his neighbor Alice, who was a photographer? Alice was setting up her camera and lights when George came in. "Hello, George. Nice to see you," she said. "Maybe you can be my helper today. I'm going to take some pictures of the Wilson family this morning." "This is film for the camera," she said. "Stand behind me when I'm taking the pictures. When I run out of film, you hand me a new box. But be careful. There are long wires on the floor. Don't trip over them or all the lights will go out." The doorbell rang, and in came Mr. and Mrs. Wilson with Peggy and Roger. "Hello there," said Alice. "I'm just about ready for you. Please put your coats in the closet. The light should be on in there." They hung up their coats and took off their boots. "Will you all come over here, please," said Alice, "and let me group you for the picture?" "Why don't you sit in this chair?" she said to Mrs. Wilson. "Mr. Wilson, you stand beside your wife. Peggy, you sit on your mother's lap. Roger, stand in front of your father." Then she looked at the family through the camera. Everyone was smiling, except Roger. "I don't want my picture taken," he said. "I want to go outside and play in the snow." How could she make Roger smile? "Roger, say cheese," said Alice. "I don't like cheese," Roger said. "Come on, Roger, please smile for the camera," said his mother. "We're going to send this picture to Grandma," said Roger's father. But nothing made Roger smile. "Wait," said Alice. "I have just the thing." George watched her take something out of a box on the floor next to the camera. It was a toy bird. "Okay," she said, "now watch the birdie." But Roger still didn't smile. George wanted to see the birdie too. Maybe he could see better from the other side of the camera. But George didn't watch where he was going. He tripped over the wire and all the lights in the studio went out. "Oh no," cried Alice. "Now we'll never get this picture taken. George, I warned you about those wires." Then she went over to the Wilsons. "Please stay where you are," she said. "Everything will be fixed in a moment." George finally freed himself from the wires. He saw some light coming from inside the closet. George was curious. Very carefully, he went over to see what was inside. After a while, the lights came back on. "All right, everyone," Alice said. "Let's begin again." Suddenly, the closet door opened, and out came George. "Look at him," shouted Roger. "He's got on Mother's fur hat and Peggy's coat and Dad's boots." George looked so funny that everybody laughed. "Hooray for George," Alice said. "Quick, let's take the pictures right now." Even Roger was smiling. "Thank you, George," she said and shook his hand. "You're a good photographer's helper after all. You'd better go home now. Maybe your friend has come back."